This particular recording will focus solely on creating a design and the pieces that will go together for that purpose. Up to this point, you've been engaging in many different mini assignments. All of those mini assignments are building toward the final project, which is creating your own design. So I'm going to explain a little bit about how the pieces fit together, and then I will go over some of the different components or parts of the final design creation process, which include the components that you've made previously. So in assignment number 4, you provided some background information on your particular area. You'll notice that when you create your design, you'll have a section for the background. Now that will be where you provide your background information. So assignment number 4 will help you with that portion. And all of these different components that I'm talking about are explained in detail in the written instructions on the course website. And then finally, your first couple of assignments after your introduction assignment, and on assignments number 2 and 3, you are building many of the components. You will tie your components to the final design to help support the use and implementation of your design. And so you should have at least one theory, one strategy, and one tool that will go together with your design and help support the overall picture. So you can see that all of the different pieces that we've done over the course of the semester fit together. Assignments 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 will all come together in the creation of your final project. Now, let's take a look at an example. This is from John Keevan, one of the co-creators of this MOOC. And so this is an example of his own components and design. So you can always go to your profile to easily find your components and later your designs when you create them. Your components will be on the left and your designs will appear on the right. The screenshot showing just the bottom portion of the design. You can see that when you tie your components to your design, they show up at the bottom, and then you don't have to duplicate them. They will automatically populate, so you don't have to duplicate any of the information in those components. The reason for doing those assignments was to support the ideas of what kind of tools you might need or theories might support your designs, or even the strategies you might use in your e-learning designs. So you'll notice that you might have multiple components beyond the basic 3, one tool, one theory, and one strategy. In other words, there might be multiple theories or multiple tools, or perhaps even multiple strategies in your design. It will just depend on your own implementation, but please remember that a minimum of one theory, one strategy, and one tool is necessary for your final design. Let's talk a little bit about the final design. Here I talked about the assignments, and you may also notice that there is an attachments section down here. Now, attachments are for you to add any supporting documents. It can be supplementary materials you've made, lesson plans, or other documents that support your design. And again, those are optional. You may also notice that there is a references section. So the references section, as you've probably guessed, is for you to include references. And those can be references that support your design creation, whether it's the tools, support of the theory, or support of the strategy. And they could be within your components, but you may also add additional references if you wish to do so. So it's pretty much just copying and pasting for that section. So let's take a look at how to get to the designs. You just click on the Designs tab in the upper hand corner of our website, and that will take you to the designs. You will see a whole number of designs populated on your screen. This is just a screenshot. And what you will actually do is scroll to the bottom of the page, and at the bottom of the page you will see this Add New Design field right here, that button, and all you do is click the button and it will take you to add your new design. Now, there is another way if you don't want to scroll all the way to the bottom of the page. You can also click on your username, and from your username, you can go down the menu and find My Designs. If you click on that, that will also allow you to add a new design by clicking on the plus button. You can also view your components from there. So again, just to review, you can either scroll down to the bottom of the page to add a new design, and you can also add a new design by clicking on your username and then going down to your My Designs. So that's how you add a new design. So let's talk about the Add New Design field. You can see some of this is self-evident, while some of it bears a little further explanation. So first we'll take a look at titling your design, and you can see you can enter the title here at the top. So put some thought into your title. You want your title to be as descriptive as possible because it will become searchable later, but also do keep in mind the balance between descriptive information and not making the title too long. So you can see some of the examples and decide for yourself to what kind of title you want, but you do definitely want to be descriptive in your title. You'll also notice that designs have the short overview with information on the design as well. So you can kind of think of it, and you can see it right here, the design description, as a short summary or like an abstract for a research article with the main ideas or points of your design to help people quickly understand what it's about. So both the title and description are very important items, and they're the ones that are most widely viewed by people browsing the designs. So they'll go to the design page, see your icon, your title, and quickly, and perhaps they'll look at the overview to decide whether it's a design they want to look further at or not. So while they are important, I also want to stress that the description and the title should be rather brief. So taking a quick look at the next section, you'll see it's the design synthesis section. I won't go into too much detail here because it is described in detail in the written instructions, but this will match with the different categories of CASA that you put in the background that you did for assignment, and the background that you did for assignment number 4. So then you'll put in the content, asynchronous, synchronous, and assessment approaches that you might have included from the CASA model. And all that can easily be put in here. You can see you can do different text manipulation as well. So bolding, italicizing, you can add links, add images. You can also use HTML if you know HTML. So this will really help you get the kind of look and feel that you want for your design. This again is kind of experimental for the first design, and you'll be able to go back and edit and change things if you don't like them. So just think of this as your exploration. And hopefully as you become a little more familiar with the commands and get used to it, you can get more of the look and feel that you want for your design. We already talked about adding attachments as well as references, which you can see towards the bottom. One thing I did want to draw your attention to is allowing the comments and trackbacks at the very bottom. You want to make sure that those are enabled because those will be part of our peer review process. You don't have to worry about this right now. However, when we exchange in the peer review, we'll look at each other's designs and quickly be able to comment on them. So it'll be almost like the discussion section that we have and participate in weekly. So those comments will be tied to your particular design, and then that will help you understand the way your design is perceived and perhaps how you would even modify it based on those comments. So make sure those are enabled. So taking a look on the right-hand side, you can see various commands such as publish right here. Another important one is save draft and preview. So publish you're actually going to use when you're all done and you're so-called ready for prime time. You don't necessarily have to publish your designs yet, but do make sure that you save your drafts often. So you should visit the Save Draft button. It's just like in Word, how you save your draft. It will not automatically save, so do please save your drafts when you're working on it. Another good idea is to maybe keep copies of the text that you're going to be working on in a separate Google Doc or Word doc as a backup, just in case. But do remember to please save it. And when you're ready to publish it, you would just click this publish button right here. And then your design becomes viewable on the page so everyone can see it and access it on the course website. So as long as you don't click the publish button, you can always go back and change things later. However, if you did publish your design and you later decide, oh, gee, I didn't want to publish it, you can go back and modify your design, but use the save draft mode. Keep saving it as a draft until you're sure you're ready and then publish it again. So again, just to reiterate, you would keep saving it as a draft and publish it when you're ready for it to be seen by everyone else. So taking a look below here, we see the categories. And as you can see, there are already a lot of existing categories. And these categories are going to help sort of work almost like hashtags, and that they help people find your design. So all of the different information you put together in your design will show up in how you categorize it. There are, as I mentioned, many pre-existing categories. However, if you find there's nothing that really describes your design, you can create a category. However, we do ask that you use your judgment in it in creating a category, because sometimes it's better to have it more broadly categorized because more people will probably access it and look at it. So do keep that in mind. Also, I finally talked about connecting your components. So that's just done by connect component. You can see right here in the bottom right corner. And it will show you the components you've created over time. Remember, the quickest way is to look for the titles. To get your own components is in the search field. So that's the easiest way to find them and access them. And there's also the set featured image. So this is another important consideration, and you can see this at the very bottom right-hand corner. That is actually going to sort of be the banner image or the tile or whatever you want to think of it on the main page. So the title, that image, and your description are really the thing that calls people into your design, and will get people interested in it. So it is a place to really think about it and how you want to showcase your design and what you want people to see, because the image will be impactful. So that's just a short synopsis. If you have any questions, as usual, you can email your instructor or your teaching assistants. One of the best ways to really learn it is just by going in and trying out your own designs, and let us know if you have any questions. Thank you for your attention to this recording, and have a good rest of your week. Mahalo.